When the heat is on, cold desserts are the way to go. These pudding bars are creamy, layered, and totally customizable, pulled straight from the freezer when you need a cool treat. This is a nostalgic summer dessert that comes from my childhood, and I still make it for my kids today. Let me show you how easy they are to pull together. Hi friend, come on in. This was a family favorite growing up, and it's one of those recipes I still come back to, especially when the weather's hot and I want something cold and easy. We used whatever pudding flavor we had in the cupboard, and no two batches were exactly the same. It's simple, it's flexible, and it still holds up after all these years. For the classic nut crust, I start by chopping half a cup of walnuts into small pieces. If you're using large walnut halves, check for shell fragments or tough membranes. They sneak in more often than you'd think. Pecans or almonds would work here too. If you don't want to turn on your oven to make this nut crust, a quick cookie-based crust like graham cracker or Maria cookie crust would work as well. I'll have directions and a link down in the show notes for how to make one. Make extra to fill the larger pan this recipe calls for. This alternative crust also avoids nuts for those who can't do nuts. Mix the chopped nuts with 1½ cups of flour. I have 3/4 of a cup of melted butter ready to go. In goes the nuts and flour. You can mix everything in one bowl to save a dish. Just make sure there are no dry pockets of flour. Pour the crust mixture into a 9x13 pan. There's no need to grease the pan. There's enough butter in the crust to keep it from sticking. I spread it as best I can with a spatula first, then press it down with my hand for a firm, even layer. If you prefer to not use your hand, oil the bottom of a measuring cup or glass and use that to press. Bake the crust at 350 Fahrenheit or 175 Celsius for about 10 to 15 minutes or until the edges turn lightly golden. Set the crust aside to cool completely before adding the layers. The first layer is a subtly sweet cream cheese mixture that adds structure and creaminess. Beat 8 ounces of softened cream cheese until smooth. This will help the sugar incorporate easier. Add 2/3 of a cup of sugar and beat until smooth. Scrape down the sides of the bowl to make sure everything's combined. Gently fold in 2 cups of whipped topping or whipped cream. I gently run the mixer through after I fold it in the whip to clean the beaters of extra cream cheese. Lift the mixer while it's still running to get the excess mixture off. Scraping beaters is not my idea of fun. Scrape the sides of the bowl to incorporate everything into a uniform mixture. With my crust cool to the touch, I can spread the cream cheese mixture in a uniform layer. This neutral base makes it perfect for whatever pudding flavor you would like. Now for the fun part, the pudding. Mix 2 4-serving packets of pudding with 2½ cups of cold milk. I'm using lemon, but chocolate, butterscotch, pistachio, go with your favorite. Beat until smooth and thickened. Spread the pudding gently over the cream cheese layer. Dollop the pudding over the top to make spreading easier. Take your time here to avoid mixing. Top it all with 2 more cups of whipped topping. I find that this final layer can be a little finicky to spread over the pudding. Chill the bars for an hour or 2 before spreading the whip on top, or dollop the whip over the top. Jazz it up with graham cracker crumbs or chocolate curls just to make it look extra fancy, or leave it plain. Once assembled, you can refrigerate for a soft set or freeze for 6 to 8 hours until firm. If you opt for frozen, let it sit out about 10 minutes before slicing to make cutting easier. These pudding bars are cold, creamy, and just sweet enough. The subtly sweet and tangy cream cheese, bright pudding, and cold whipped topping are a perfect combo for a hot summer day. Let me know what pudding flavor you try. I'd love to hear your combos. These pudding bars are great to keep in the freezer for barbecues, potlucks, or just when you need a little something sweet. If you like simple, nostalgic recipes that are budget-friendly and pantry-based, consider subscribing. I've got more coming your way. And don't forget to save this video so you can find it later. Thanks for hanging out with me today.